You know the drill, right? You land on a new website and bam! Before you can even read a single word, this giant banner pops up, blocking half the screen. Yep, it's that dreaded cookie banner. And while it might just seem like a minor annoyance, it's actually at the very center of a huge debate about our online privacy. I mean, you've seen this exact phrase, or something pretty close to it, thousands of times. And what do? Let's be honest, most of us just slam that accept button as fast as we can to get it out of the way. It's almost muscle memory at this point. But hold on a second. Have you ever really stopped to think about what that click actually means? I mean, when you're rushed or when it looks like there isn't another option, are you really giving meaningful permission? That simple click is where we go from a little daily frustration to a huge legal question about who controls our data. To get to the bottom of this, we need to understand the rules of the game. Now, before we dive into the legal nitty-gritty, let's just quickly get on the same page. So, cookies are these tiny text files websites put on your device to remember stuff about you. You know, your login, what's in your shopping cart, or, and this is the controversial part, your browsing habits across the web for targeted ads. And in Europe, this thing called the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR, sets a really high bar for how companies can get your permission to use them. What's so striking here is just how clear the legal definition is. This isn't some vague idea. Under GDPR, your agreement has to be, and I quote, freely given, specific, informed, and unambiguous. The law is basically saying your consent has to be a genuine choice, not something you're pushed into. It has to be an active yes, not just the absence of a no. Let's break that down into these 4 pillars because they're super important. Freely given means no pressure, no manipulation. Specific means you should be able to choose which cookies you accept, like saying yes to analytics but no to advertising. It's not supposed to be an all or nothing deal. Informed means the website has to tell you, in plain language, what you're agreeing to. And finally, unambiguous means you have to do something clear, an affirmative action like clicking a button to give your consent. So this slide lays it out perfectly. A clear, active accept click? Yeah, that's consent. But what isn't? Well, the GDPR is really explicit about this. Just continuing to scroll down the page doesn't count. Your silence doesn't count. And you know those sneaky pre-ticked boxes you see sometimes? Definitely a no-go. Okay, so if the rules are this clear, why are so many cookie banners so bad? Let's get into the common traps that websites use, whether they mean to or not, to kind of get around these rules. This one is probably the most common trap you'll see. The banner gives you this big friendly accept button, but the option to just say no is completely gone. Or it's buried in some super complicated menu. Look, if you can't easily say no, then saying yes isn't a free choice. That's not consent. That's just a forced agreement. And then you've got the really sneaky stuff. Ever see a banner with a giant bright green accept all button right next to a teeny tiny light gray link for settings? That's called a dark pattern. It's a design trick that's deliberately used to nudge you towards the choice the website wants you to make. And why do they do it? Well, it's simple. More accepted cookies usually means more user data, which means more money from targeted advertising. It totally undermines the freely given part of consent by stacking the deck. Now, this one is a major legal breach. Some websites drop non-essential tracking cookies onto your device the second you land on the page, before you've even had a chance to see the banner, let alone make a choice. If the data collection has already started, any consent you give after the fact is totally meaningless. The choice was already made for you. So, we've seen the traps that make for a bad banner, but what does a good, compliant one actually look like in the wild? Let's put them side by side so you can really see the difference. Okay, here it is, the key difference. A good banner gives you an equal choice. See how accept all and reject all are both right there, clear as day, with the same emphasis. A bad one, on the other hand, often hides or just straight up removes the reject option. A good banner makes managing your preferences easy to find. A bad one buries them in confusing menus. And most importantly, a good banner waits for your decision before it loads any non-essential cookies. Knowing all of this is actually really empowering. You have a legal right to a real choice. So, with that in mind, let's talk about what you should expect and what you should look for from a truly honest banner next time you're browsing. Here's the anatomy of a banner that actually respects you. First, the accept all and reject all buttons should have equal weight and prominence. No tricks. Second, there should be a clear, easy-to-find option to customize your settings so you can pick and choose. And third, the explanation of what the cookies do should be in simple, plain language that anyone can get, not buried in pages of dense legalese. This quote just nails the core issue, doesn't it? This isn't just about ticking legal boxes. It's about the relationship a website has with its users. The whole point of a banner shouldn't be to trick people into giving away their data. It should be to empower them with a clear choice. That's how you build real trust in this digital age. And frankly, it's the only way to actually stay on the right side of the law. And for any companies that think they can just ignore this, well, the consequences are very, very real. Regulators in the EU are taking this incredibly seriously. We're talking multi-million euro fines handed out to some of the biggest tech companies in the world, specifically for their shady cookie practices. This isn't just a friendly suggestion. It's a requirement with some serious financial teeth. So the next time that familiar banner pops up on your screen, I want you to take a second look. Now that you know the rules of the game, you won't just see some annoying button you have to click to get rid of. You'll see whether a company actually respects your right to choose, or if you've just stumbled right into a silent digital trap.